2016, I want to bring over one of my 2015 New Year's resolutions, and that's to eat healthy and just to continue to work out. I've been doing that for a while now because I am in my third year of college. I can no longer use the excuse of my freshman 15, so I don't want to leave college with the weight that I put on in college. So I've been trying to work hard and stay consistent with my eating habits and working out, and so I have a couple of tips that I want to share with you guys that have really helped me stay focused. I don't think that the working out and the physical strain is the hard part of it. I think the consistency part, that you absolutely need to do it, is actually the hard part. And one of the things that I think helps is food prepping. And while I might add food prep at the beginning of the week every single week, I do have a routine. And for example, when I'm not working, I pretty much eat oatmeal and fruits for breakfast every single day, so that kind of helps. So I'm going to give you guys a couple of tips that I use to meal prep and stay organized throughout the week with my eating habits. I found a new love in this item called pumpkin butter, which I got from HomeGoods. I talked about it in my favorites, and it's really sweet, so you can add it to anything like toast and oatmeal. And since I have oatmeal pretty much every single day when I don't work, I like to add that to my oatmeal, and it makes it very sweet without adding too much. All you really need is a scoop of it. I put that in my oatmeal, and if I'm not going to have oatmeal, I'll put it on my toast. It's actually really good on toast, and I like to have that with tea and lemon. I've only been using that recently, so what I used before was just plain brown sugar, and that works well just fine. And I also put a little bit of condensed milk. You can use regular milk. I just tend to use whatever milk I have on hand, but that makes it a lot easier, so I really don't have to think too much about what I'm going to eat. Oatmeal is just the usual thing for me, so that makes it pretty easy, especially when you're a college student or you're just someone that's on the go constantly. That's really going to help your mornings. And you want to make sure that you always eat breakfast. You know, breakfast is always the most important meal of the day, and it helps you burn calories throughout the day, and you find that you're not going to be snacking a lot if you do eat breakfast. My tip number 2 would be, if you're a busy person like I am with college work, kids, whatever your situation is, multiple jobs, whatever it is, I find that sometimes I don't always go to the grocery store on time, so I'm always like lacking on some groceries. You want to have a proportionate amount of food with like each serving, I believe, or with each meal. That's not very realistic for everyone. I like to stock up on canned fruits. You don't want to do this, you don't want to depend on this or rely on it mainly for your fruit intake because it has a lot of syrup and sugar stored in it. But what I like to do is just have at least 2 to 3 cans of fruits for the times where I don't go grocery shopping and I want to make sure that I at least get something. I like to snack on fruits because it's easier, it's sweeter, and it is fuller, but of course I don't always have that. So I like to get canned fruits. I usually get pineapples or oranges or pear, and I put them in little plastic bags and keep them in the fridge, and that way I can put them in my little container next to my lunch, and that's going to help me have my healthy serving of fruit and not snack on anything that's a lot more unhealthy. I feel like even though this has a lot of syrup in it, it's better than a bag of chips. So that's just my second tip that I use to keep me focused and reminds me to stay on track. Along with my oatmeal, I like to have tea and lemon. It's probably one of my big things for my morning or even lunch or dinner. I'm pretty much a tea person. I like to have tea whenever, but having tea kind of focuses my day. It helps me, I don't know, something about tea just helps you feel a lot more focused and alive and awake. I like to experiment with different teas, so I don't have a favorite just yet, but I like to sweeten mine with a slice of lemon a day, or a slice of lemon a cup, and that way I don't have to put any kind of artificial sugar. Even brown sugar is not good for you, so a lemon slice or lime, whatever you like, is a lot healthier than using sugar. So I recommend that you put lemon with your teas instead of sugars. That way you can cut back on your craving for sugar, because sometimes we don't realize our body really depends on it when we eat a lot of it, but when you get into the habit of using lemon, that way you won't crave sugar as much. Another one of the ways that I like to stay organized with my eating habits is having matching organization sets. Like for me, I like to have matching gym sets when I work out too. I feel like it just keeps me extra motivated, but I like to have matching matching tray set and water bottle set. And I recently went to Target and I picked one up that I thought was just cute. I picked up a little tray, and it's by a brand called Fuel, and I like how much it holds in it. I can put my lunch on one side, or I can fill it up with lunch, but what I like to do is put my bag of fruits on one side, and my lunch on one side, and it also comes with this really cute pouch with a fork and knife that came with it that kind of sold me on getting it when I was in Target. But I also bought a water bottle with it that says fuel, and I like the fact that it's not one of those bottles that you have to suck from, because I'm going to be reusing it, so it's more like a drinking cup, but it does have a cap that prevents the water from falling out and prevents anything from touching the area where you put your mouth, which I like because I find that to be a little bit more sanitary. And it's just a clip. I wish it's like a press cap. I wish it was just a little bit tighter, but so far I haven't really had any spills or anything. And then it just has a little wristlet around the top of the bottle, and I think it's really cute. It helps me to remember to pack my lunch, stay focused, and it's just cute. It's very small-ish compared to a lot of the dishes that I've seen, so it's always in my fridge. It always has something in it. Right now I think I have macaroni in it from yesterday, but I love the matchy because it just, I don't know, it kind of helps keep me organized, just as if I were wearing cute workout clothes. My next tip would be to invest in something like a slow cooker. I have one in my kitchen. It's actually my roommate's. She doesn't use it, so she lets me use it whenever, and I use it as often as I can. And when I work really long hours, sometimes I don't want to have to come home and worry about food, and slow cooker is just the easiest way to make a meal and not really have to worry about it. One of my favorite meals is stew beef, and I'm going to walk you guys through the way that I make that. So basically what I do is I prefer to have this seasoned the night before, but a lot of the times that doesn't happen. So what I do is just season that. I like to lightly brown it by just frying just the top layer of it, and then I also add some onions, garlic. I use grapeseed oil. I'm just trying out different oils right now. There's no reason I use that one in specific. And I put that in the brown cooker, in the slow cooker, and then I let it go for about 6 hours, well, maybe like five hours depending on the thickness of it in the slow cooker. And it's also really good if you add some wine to it, if you have that. And then I like to make that with instant mashed potatoes, which I get from the dollar store, so it's $1, very inexpensive. And all you need for that is just a cup of water, and because it's the 3 cheese one, I don't add butter, so I just boil the water out, and then I add the packet of it into it. And then sometimes I like to go in with another seasoning that has a little bit of salt, different from the one that I use on the meat, just to give it a little bit more of a kick. And that would make for an easy dinner. All I gotta do is stir that, and if you don't want to stir it lightly first, I just find that helps. I'm a foodie, so it helps to keep the flavor on the meat. And then you know, the little browning that sticks to the pan, I like to go in with chicken broth. They say that chicken broth is better to use for stews on beef than the beef broth. I have no idea why, but that's what I have, so I tried it. And then I put that in the pot to make the gravy, and then I throw it over the beef, and that's my gravy, and it just thickens. Or you can add some other agent like flour or cornstarch to thicken it, and that makes it very simple. And while I'm away at work for the entire time, I can leave it on. You can leave it on high for 6 hours, or you can leave it on low for about 8 hours. So that's a full time that you're at work. And so that it makes it very easy to have dinner when I come home. You can put chicken, you can put beef, you can put pretty much anything you want in there, and it just makes it very, very simple. So I think investing in a slow cooker is probably one of the best things to do if you want to make sure that you stay on track. I love, which is nothing new, but I just recently started doing it, is adding some mint and lemon, and sometimes I put strawberries in my water, and that way it decreases how much juice I drink. Water fills you up a lot faster than any kind of fast drink or sodas that you may have, and it tastes actually pretty good. The more fruits and stuff you put in it, of course it's going to taste sweeter, but it's actually a good sweet for you, and the mint just gives it a refreshing and cooling flavor. So it's pretty good. It's a pretty good replacement. I've been doing it for a month now, and I really haven't drunk as many juices or sodas as I usually do. I'm actually not a soda drinker, so that's actually pretty good. And of course, if you're trying to stay on track with your weight and eating healthier, definitely cut out all the sodas. Right now I'm trying to eliminate my starches and white sugars. I'm eventually one day hoping to go pescatarian, just to cut out all my or at least most of my carbs, just down to better carbs like sweet potato, which is one that I really like. Oh, and that's another tip as well. If you want to snack on something, definitely try sweet potatoes. I usually do that for my post-workout meal, and it's really good and very simple. I just add a little bit of cinnamon to it, and it's really good and really sweet. So those are my tips, and that's one of the things that I want to start and really go forward with in 2016. Do you guys have any New Year's resolutions or anything that you want to bring over or just keep working on? Do let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in another one.